Hi guys, today we're going to discuss how to write a C++ program structure. Okay, so let us begin with a simple example of a C++ program that prints a string on the screen. Every C++ program we start with a statement #include IOStream. This is include header file, and IOStream I indicates the input and O output, input-output stream. That's include the header file and the statement using namespace std. These two statements are very important to begin a C++ program. And the statement int main function execution begins at the main. So the main our program mainly start from the main statement. Every C++ program must have a main. And also like C++ statements terminate with semicolons. Then we have to put the statement, what statement we have to display on the screen. That statement we put in cout, that indicates to display output in the screen. That's the C++ statement, and end of this we return as return 0. C++ introduces a new comment symbol /. Comments start with a / symbol and terminate at the end of the line. A comment may start anywhere in the line, and whatever follows till the end of the line is ignored. The / comment is basically a single line comment. Multi-line comments can be written as follows. This is the multi-line comments. Some of the header files we used in the C++ program, like assert.h. It contains macros and information for adding diagnostics that aid program debugging, and ctype.h contains function prototypes for functions that test characters for certain properties, and function prototypes for functions that can be used to convert lowercase letters to uppercase letters and vice versa. Then another header file is float.h, contains the floating point size limits of the system, and math.h contains function prototypes for math library functions. Another is stdio.h, contains function prototypes for the standard input or output library functions and information used by them. Like this, so many header files we used in C++ programming language, and the main is iostream.h. Let us consider another example of the C++ program. Assume that we would like to read two numbers from the keyboard and display their average on the screen. Okay. So here is the program. We put two numbers, number 1, number 2 as a variable. For two numbers, we have two numbers to find an average. Okay, that will be declared as in float data type. Okay, because that is the decimal point. When we have to calculate an average, there may be point values, decimal values. So we declared as in float data type, and we have the two variables sum, add two numbers, and that sum will be stored in a sum variable, and the average will be stored on the average variable, that is number 1, number 2, sum and average. Then we have to display a label that enter two numbers. Then we have to put the two numbers. Okay, so enter two numbers, the statement we have to display. So we insert in the cout statement. Then we input that two numbers. That includes in cin statement, cin number 1, cin number 1 and cin number 2. These read numbers from keyboard. Then we calculate the number 1, number 2 addition of these two numbers in the variable sum. So sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2, and we have to calculate average. Average is equal to sum by 2. Then that stored value in sum we have to display. So cout sum is equal to sum, cout average is equal to average. There our average calculated value will displayed on that. Then return 0. So the program uses 4 variables here, number 1, number 2, sum and average. They are declared as type float by the statement. All variables must be declared before they are used in the program. And here use the input operator as cn number 1 is an input statement that causes the program to wait for the user to type in a number. The number keyed is placed in the variable number 1. The identifier cin is a predefined object in C++ that corresponds to the standard input stream. And that operator we used within the cin is known as extraction or get from operator. Next we looking for an example with class. That means how to create a program structure with using class. Okay, then class person. A class we declare as a person. Person is the class. Okay, and that person class there is 2 variables we put, name and age. Okay, name has assume 30 characters, so we use the data type char, char, name 30. Then age will be declared in the data type int. Okay, then these 2 variables we accessed by publicly. That means everyone can access these 2 variables from outside the class or within the class. Everyone can access these 2 variables, so we declare this as public. Okay, so public void get data. That means we have the input to enter. That's the get data. Get data includes the input variables and void display. Display means what input we given, the corresponding output we can get. Then we going to enter the input data as in get data void in the class person. So we have to display name, enter name in cout statement, and the corresponding input we have to given. Okay, that in cin name, and cout enter age, cin age. These are the input data we enter, so it will be stored in get data. Next is display void. That means the input data has the corresponding output we have to be given. We want that, so cout name and age. Then in this program, int main is used in the last step of the program. So this will be not in main. Input enter and output displayed, all the functions in we accessed publicly, so it will be enter in outside the int main. So in int main we have to only the displaying that class. We enter a class variable as p, person p, and p dot get data display. Only that 2 functions will be called in the main function. Calling will be only accessed in the int main. Okay, not in outside. Then return 0. This is the program we used as in class. So here the program defines person as a new data of type class. The class person includes 2 basic data type items, that is name and age, and 2 functions to operate on that data. These functions are called member functions, and the main program uses person to declare variables of its type. That declaration we have to naming the p, person p. Okay, as pointed out earlier, class variables are known as objects. Here p is an object of type person. Person is the class. Class objects are used to invoke the functions defined in that class. More about classes and objects is discussed in next class. Thank you.